Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and such, I usually go about on Twitter, especially on live stream stuff, which I've been pretty busy lately. But I did miss out yesterday, and I missed basically Saturday the gaming news program, and I missed yesterday gaming news and Jedi Survivor episode from the gameplay there. I was out all day. I only arrived later at night, and I did manage then to stream a little bit there. Yeah, some days are going to be like this, unfortunately, given that I do this on a free spare time basis at this moment, the channel. So it might happen from time to time, but yeah. A good thing is, at this moment in time, we still are on the silly season of news cycles all over the world and pretty much about anything else to a certain extent regarding media and entertainment there. So, yeah, there are some news here and there that might caught our eyes here, but usually they're not something, with the exception of AMD launching by the end of this month the new 9000 series of the Zen 5 CPUs there by the end of this month. We don't have a lot of news here. But yeah, other than that, again, I've been able to stream late at night because, again, I'm at home at least then. And yeah, we've been progressing a lot. I think I'm almost done with the DLC in terms of story and the exploration and all that jazz. From what I've been getting, I only have like the Jagged Peak thing where is try not to get into spoilers. Got the Jagged Peak to wrap up there, and we got the final stretch. At least that's what it seems to me from the DLC, in terms of the kind of second to last location. And then we got to go again to Belrod settlement to continue there. Yeah, I will assume probably a couple episodes of at least a couple of streams, and we might be able to wrap up there. At least that's my perception of from what we've been playing here. Again, a lot of answers that we kind of get and some theories that can be crafted around that, but I want to at least wrap up the DLC, see some lore videos to see what kind of details I may have missed from it, item descriptions, stuff that I didn't catch from items, or stuff that I completely did wrong regarding NPC quest lines and all that jazz that might have a different outcome. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff that is interesting there, and hopefully afterwards I can start delving in deep a little bit more on some theories that I might come up if we don't have the proper answers for that. And then after the DLC, I will have to wrap up the game. Again, I on the base game, I got stuck on entering Leyndell, Ashen Capital. When I reached there after defeating Malekith, I basically start off the DLC because it launched it that day. Yeah, we have to do that area there and then wrap up the base game. I'm again, from everything that I see, again, anything DLC related story-wise, you will not get doesn't affect the base game, which is going to be interesting how they can wrap up certain things so it doesn't influence the base game there. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, I will later today I can resume the Dead Space remake. I got everything set up there to later on to come up with a Dead Space remake episode there to publish that, and then I will try to continue to resume the how it was. We are almost finishing up also with Dead Space. I think it's 2 episodes, counting with the one that is going to be published, and then I will manage to finish up the game. Yeah, then I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm still indecisive of a couple of games here and there. But yeah, I will have to when the time comes. I will decide, and I will announce which kind of. Probably I will just do one at a time, one game at a time. I think it's easier for me to try to focus on two different games at the same time. Then if I don't play for a couple of days when I record stuff, I sometimes I get a little bit lost on the plot. I think I will prefer to go. I will be ramping up more, so I will finish up the game faster. But at least I think I can maintain a consistency on remembering the plot lines of the game that I'm playing at the moment. But yeah, other than that, when the time comes, I will give more details. And yeah, and my plans for the live stream after I finish up Elden Ring. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do Engine Plus to test out my character and play everything in that sense, because I was interesting to see if I go about doing an NG Plus game, trying to reach as fast as I can to the DLC stuff. Maybe then I can have, but I don't think, maybe I can have a different experience regarding then trying to follow up on the NPCs on the main game to see what kind of connections we might get there. But yeah, I don't know. Or if I go for Death Stranding here and there, I probably will interchange between NG Plus and Death Stranding, because I want to continue to play this game. I completely stopped playing this game because of Elden Ring. But yeah, other than that, this is what I got from so far that I can remember the plans for the channel. Regarding news, got an interesting thing. Again, it's kind of a silly season, so some of the news are not that important, let's say, but some interesting tidbits. MSI marks 20 years since debuting his first laptop, which is interesting. They were kind of the late upcomers in terms of older tech companies that do hardware. They were the late the on the latter when they entered the laptop market, and they started off in 2004. But still, as you can see, like this tidbits here, we got this old serial, I think it's serial bus. I'm not sure how they call the connections here. This is a VGA connector, and this is for the printer, which is the bigger one. Very interesting thing. And then again, we got the CD thingy there, some USBs, and some jacks and the such for sound and the thing. And even in older ones like 2007, we still have the VGA's thingy, because I think the the GPUs. No, it doesn't have anything to do with it. I think it was 2007 was they when they started introducing HDMI's and the such, because I remember using a lot of VGAs until later. Even the first LCD that I got, the first LCD panel, it still got VGA, if not mistaken, a lot of them. Just later on that they introduced the HDMI and then DisplayPort. And now we even have connections through USB-C in terms of image there. But yeah, interesting things here. Again, the design is very 2007 with the logo there and the gamer thingy. It started off around that time there. But yeah, interesting things here. And again, now they have again the Titan, which is their top of the line. Titan 18 Pro, again, 60 Zen cores and 4090 GPUs. Again, this is the M1, so it's more equivalent to a 4070 Ti, I think, in terms of performance, give or take. And still is 800 grams more than the first laptop that they launched. And the first laptop was basically 3 kilograms, which I think is almost 6 pounds converted to that. But yeah, I've got some curiosities here. But then again, I will leave the link in the article as always. Continuing with NVidia stuff there and the sanction wars, let's say. NVIDIA is going to launch a China compliant. Again, I always miss out on the scheme of how they name their AI stuff. This is the H20 GPU. They have 41% fewer cores and 28 lower performance versus the top Hopper H100 configuration, which is very interesting. Again, for this moment in time, NVIDIA is still benefiting from this because they can use cut down specs and still sell at a premium price there. I'm not sure about the top tier premium, top tier pricing on their non strangled H20s, Hopper's GPU stuff there, but still they are selling them 1200k, 12k dollars, which is, yeah, it's still a lot. I'm not sure what the price is, but again, they enter here in a lot of in the weeds of the specs of the thing there. But my main takeaway is, yeah, they this thing is not going to end well. People tend to forget that. I think from what I can gather, China and to a certain extent Russia, given that they are the targets of huge amounts of sanctions, they are getting around. It will take a little bit more, a little bit time, but they are getting around to those sanctions, especially on this field of AI technology, which is very high tech on chip manufacturing. Again, they don't have at this moment in time like the big and the better and the bestest there, but they are entering in the path because they can at this moment in time pull a lot of resources from manpower to even manufacturing tools. They can get around and get those things there. I saw some news also, they there is a lot of non-compliant sanction stuff from AI and even DIY market stuff that is entering in China. I think it's from like black market stuff there. So they can manage to get around and get those premium devices that are not sanctioned compliant there from the United States. They're being able to enter on the Chinese market. Again, they are sold like top tier price, more than the official MSRP of the products there. But yeah, it only going to feed on the black market and people that are trafficking, to lack of better terms, because they are going around certain laws, especially on the United States, because from what I understand, China doesn't have any issues on buying them because they have the ways of going about that. But yeah, it's not going to get well, because eventually, if the companies are forced to go about it doing their own thing, they will do it. And then when they see no necessity of being dependent on other or foreign companies to do to sell their products, they will just, it's how much they are expecting. I think they're expecting at least 12 billion of revenue regarding just only these kind of things from NVidia. It's 12 billion that it's lost in terms of revenue there, for at least for the NVidia alone. Yeah, this in the end, if this continues, this is not going to go well for the American companies that are sanctioned or have to cut down on their products to sell to these markets, because the countries themselves, they have enough resources to even governmental resources of just investing money and resources, human resources, material resources, to start ramping up the development of high-end tech there, which is going to be interesting to see in the upcoming years if this thing doesn't end. And continue with brand stuff. Supposedly AMD surpasses Intel in brand recognition, and NVIDIA backs sixth spot with the single largest brand value growth. Again, I don't know if it is from the article. I don't understand what is the how they went about it measuring this. Financial value plus brand contribution. Again, I don't know how they went about it and reached this kind of I don't know, this chart here. And again, we don't know if they are paid by any kind of companies here. I don't know. But yeah, the methodology here, I don't understand very well, and how they just basically reach this kind of things. But yeah, supposedly, according to them, which is Kantar brands most valuable brands for 2024, according to them, AMD is more recognizable, and they one of the big contributors here is the Instinct lineup of AI accelerators, which surpassed Intel Gaudi series. Again, we don't even heard in the news the Gaudi series stuff there. We might hear here and there from time to time something regarding that. But yeah, AI from AMD is going very well, which is good given that they are a very small company, especially compared to NVidia and Intel's, not only like market cap, but like in terms of the size of the company itself, manpower, like installations and all that jazz, and the budgets that they have to work with to launch products. They are smaller than Intel and even NVIDIA, which is an astonishing work. What they, with all the problems that they might have, they still manage to stay competitive on the market, which is always good. But yeah, Intel, especially on the DI market, has lowered a little bit there in brand recognition, especially with the 13 and 14 channel generations Intel CPUs there. They are pretty good, and I think they are positioning themselves very well on the GPU front. But yeah, AMD took the CPU market share there completely from Intel, at least from what I've been seeing a lot. They have more cheaper CPUs, that their platforms are long lasting in terms of the support there. They perform better for the price point that so they have the better value in terms of price to performance. And they spend less energy of doing kind of the same thing that Intel, to a certain, in the general broad terms, not all of them, of course, but in the general terms of what we can consider brand recognition, we can make that evaluation that they are better in terms of price to performance, and they usually to do when they have comparable performance values, they spend less energy to do so. So for people more budget conscious, they will choose the one, if they can, cheaper, and that uses less energy to do the same thing to a certain degree. But yeah, interesting thing to see. And regarding the technology stuff here, we got Godot engine. I think I never heard of this Godot engine. They will go full path tracing instead of Lumen-like style hybrid NAND-like system not planned. Again, this is kind of an independent, like an indie kind of engine, guys. They have created by two Argentinian developers. It's been so far by indie developers on game like, again, some of them I never heard of them. Deponia, The Case of Golden Idol, Cassette Beats, Brotato, and the upcoming Slay the Spires. Slay the Spires 2, I'm waiting for it to come out because I enjoy pretty much the first one. Slay the Spires perhaps is the most recognizable, at least for me. And the highest profile game made with Godot was Sonic Colors Ultimate. Again, don't remember this game, but yeah, they go about it a little bit there, but it's kind of a framework similar to Unreal Engine in terms of how they can use the engine there, but it goes about in a different way because again, they go for a more simple approach on how we integrate technologies and how to go about things regarding anything engine related. But yeah, they talk about here the not going for the way that ray tracing is implemented. They go about in a more path tracing kind of a way there. Again, we have some pros and cons regarding that, but then again, they don't have 150 veteran graphic engineers and all the resources needed to maintain those engineers and all that thing there. So they have to think more simplistically in terms of implementing solutions. And for Nanite, which is, I think, a pretty good solution in terms of level details, they are not going about it the same way, mainly because of the complexity of implementation of this and the maintenance of, I don't know, newer versions of this kind of technology is going to be a nightmare for indie developers. I think they're going for a more simplistic approach, which using level of details with meshlets, all GPU driven. I just thought it interesting because I never heard about this engine. Again, I like competition, and if they are competing, especially with, which was the other, Unity engine, which is a shit show. They got this shit show of like the royalties scheme that they implemented there a few months ago. and a lot of people just let go that Unity thing, even though it's still used. But again, if you have an alternative here, it's always good to see that if we have a healthy market on game engines, I think it's always a good thing there. And then lastly, we got some interesting things regarding Ubisoft Japan had to apologize for using Japanese reenactment groups banners without permission in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Again, this game is going to be a shit show. There is a petition on, I think it's change.org, which is basically or something similar in that sense. There is a petition, I think 70,000 gamers already signed there. Mostly of them are from Japan to ban the game in Japan. This game, which is interesting in there. And this was appeared a few weeks ago. This banner here, some people speculating, and yeah. TLDR, Ubisoft Japan issued a formal apology for using Japanese reenactment groups banner in their Assassin's Creed Shadows game. Again, some people noticed this. They start rumbling around Grumps as being an aggregator or anything related with these kind of things. It's like it's the same thing, and it's supposedly it's a very specific banner, so there is no confusion to be made here. And people starting, I think they found the like social media from this reenactment group, because it's like it's not it's a non-profit group. It's like people that do the same thing that do with the reenactments of Civil War stuff in the United States. It's the same kind of things there. And they caught up to the attention, and because again they are a non-profit organization, they're not even a company, so it's like I don't know, lack of better terms, like cosplayers from that time period in Japan. And again, everything is voluntary. There is no donate. They don't even accept donations, all that chat and all that stuff, as far as I can see. But yeah, they caught up there the wind of this situation, and basically they contacted Ubisoft to see what can be done to remove this. And again, and all the support that people paid to them. And basically, yeah, Ubisoft was at least Ubisoft Japan had to acknowledge that. I think this should be also done from the global office or the global account there, because again, this is trying to mitigate disaster by just using Ubisoft Japan. But again, everybody here is trying to draw to attention of this kind of things, that they are basically stealing artwork, which is something that it's not unusual to a certain degree in bigger game companies. But yeah, it's being removed. I think the only thing that it's not the only place it is going to be distributed this banner is from the art book on the games collector's edition. I think they already printed out, and I think because they are not looking to sue Ubisoft, it just it's already printed out, it's a physical thing, you're not going to burn all the art book collection there, so it will get a pass there. Probably they will have, I don't know if there is some kind of correction that can be made there on the collector's edition on that specific case of that banner. If you try to recognize this is based on this this group that uses the Sekigara Battlefield Hospitality Union, some from the Sekigara Rifle Corps. Okay, but yeah, they had to bend the knee and have a formal apology, which from what I understand, Japanese culture, when you have to present a formal apology, you have, it basically is bending the knee. At least that's my perception in terms of the Japanese culture there. And given this is basically from Ubisoft Japan, they didn't even try to put any kind of excuses. They just recognized the error and they have a formal apology released. But yeah, other than that, this is what I got in terms of games. Again, some silly stuff, others some again, nothing out of the ordinary here. But yeah, we got some game deals still until got a couple more days until this Summer Games Fest wraps up. We got Elden Ring 30% off. We got Hogwarts Legacy 60% off. We got Baldur's Gate 3 20% off. We got Cyberpunk again. Ultimate Edition is the way to go. 43% off because they got the Phantom Liberty here, and I think this is going to be the last good Cyberpunk game that we're going to have, given all the DI shit that CD Projekt Red is going forward to for the next few games. At least that's my perception. But we got again Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon 30% off. Again, I want to try out this game one of these days. We got Batman Arkham Collection. This is the trilogy of the Arkham Batman here. I got played these two games, pretty good, and I think now Arkham Knight is way more playable than before. And then we got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Again, take advantage of this because I don't think they're going to see a lot of good Witcher games in the future, given again what CD Projekt Red is going forward there. But hopefully things can be turned around before the launch of the next games here. But yeah, Wild Hunt Complete Edition is the way to go. I already seeing some news popping out regarding some new mods coming out of the tools that they launched from the Creator Toolkit stuff there that gives full access to the game code there. Some interesting things that are already being seen there. We got Lies of Pi 40% off, and finally we got the Resident Evil franchise. It's on deal, all of them, and I will leave a list of the Resident Evil games so you can complete the collection. But yeah, I will wrap up for today with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. Again, the extra support at this moment in time is more focused for me to get around getting a storage solution to be able to get backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, I'm Master out.